Hello, everyone. In this video, we will discuss the general limitations of pre-adjusted edgewise appliances. In contemporary orthodontics, various pre-adjusted edgewise appliances like MBT and Roth and Alexander are commonly used to correct malocclusions. Although they have many merits over the standard edgewise appliance, they still have many limitations. Understanding these limitations can help a clinician achieve better finishing the occlusion. We will discuss how inaccurate placement of a bracket can affect the finishing of occlusion. Also, we will discuss how the variations in the morphology of a tooth and the skeletal pattern of an individual can affect the ultimate finishing of the occlusion. In addition, we will discuss a few special clinical situations where the finishing of the occlusion is complex with a pre-adjusted edgewise appliance unless it is customized. In pre-adjusted edgewise appliances, the ideal finishing of the occlusion depends on precise bracket placement, appropriate bracket and arch wire selection, and optimum force level. If there is a compromise in any of these four factors, then optimum finishing of the occlusion cannot be achieved. It has been mentioned that if a malocclusion is treated by a standard edgewise appliance, then achieving an ideal occlusion is very difficult. However, when an Andrews straight wire appliance or Roth appliance is used, then achieving an ideal occlusion is relatively less difficult. However, when an MBT pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is used, achieving a perfect occlusion at the end of orthodontic treatment is relatively easy. But still, we cannot achieve the ideal occlusion. Before starting the discussion on the limitations of pre-adjusted edgewise appliances, let us discuss what a straight wire appliance is. In 1972, Andrews introduced the straight wire appliance. According to Andrews, when each bracket was precisely positioned at the midpoint of the clinical crown and aligned with the facial axis, they collectively became the straight wire appliance. That means a plain full-size arch wire can be entirely engaged in all bracket slots without any bend. However, even after the precise placement of brackets as recommended by Andrews, the goal of individual ideal tooth position was not always achieved and demanded additional arch wire bending to achieve the ideal results. Thus, additional adjustments were made to the Andrews straight wire appliance. After the introduction of the original straight wire appliance by Andrews, Creekmore in 1973, Ricketts in 1976, Alexander in 1978, Roth in 1979, Root in 1986, Hilgers in 1989, and MBT in 1993, modified the appliance to achieve the ideal results. This table describes how the tip or angulation value for different teeth in the bracket slot has been modified over time in various appliances. This table describes how the torque or inclination value for different teeth has been modified over time in various appliances. These adjustments in tip and torque typically aim to achieve the ideal individual tooth position, better occlusion finish, and more appliance efficiency. In spite of all modifications in the bracket base and face, some amount of arch wire bending is still needed in many cases to achieve the ideal occlusion. So, why is additional arch wire bending needed? From here, we will discuss the various limitations of pre-adjusted edgewise appliances. In any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance, accurate bracket placement, as recommended for that specific appliance, is very crucial. Inaccurate bracket placement results in unwanted expression of tip, torque, and in and out effects. On average, 0.34 mm vertical errors and 5.54 degree angular errors occur in the bracket placement. Variations in the vertical position of brackets in pre-adjusted edgewise appliances affect not only the occlusal gingival position of teeth but also the torque expression. Thus, vertical error in bracket placement will result in abnormal torque expression and marginal ridge relationship with adjacent teeth. According to Wheeler and Perma, the buccal surfaces of the posterior teeth and labial surfaces of the anterior teeth cannot be depicted by a circle section. Miethick and Melson found a marked variation in the labial surface outline of the same tooth. The buccal surface of the mandibular molars shows maximum variation, followed by mandibular premolars, maxillary molars, maxillary premolars, maxillary anterior, and mandibular anterior teeth. Because of this variation, slight vertical error in the bracket placement could result in abnormal torque expression. Meyer and Nelson reported that 3 mm vertical error in the bracket placement could result in 15-degree variation in the torque expression. According to Germain et al., the vertical 1 mm mistake could result in a 10-degree variation in the torque expression. However, Mietke and Melson observed that a 1 mm vertical error in the bracket placement could result in a 4-degree variation in torque expression. Thus, on average, 1 mm error in the vertical bracket placement could result in approximately 5-degree variation in the torque expression. The vertical position of the bracket slots in various pre-adjusted edgewise appliances is guided by many factors. The incisal edge, cusp tip, and marginal ridge are commonly considered references to determine the vertical positioning of brackets. In straight wire appliances, the middle third and center of the clinical crown are considered the ideal location. The vertical position of the premolar brackets is also used as a reference to determine the vertical positioning of brackets in other teeth. Thus, proper recommendations, as recommended by a particular pre-adjusted edgewise appliance system, need to be followed for optimum outcomes. Accurate horizontal or mesiodistal placement of brackets is crucial for the control of tooth rotation. An error in the horizontal bracket placement results in the tooth being rotated. The mesiodistal rotational position of the brackets needs to be checked from the occlusal aspects with a mouth mirror so that the brackets can be positioned accurately about the vertical long axis of the crown. Accurate bracket placement in the axial direction is essential for optimum achievement of tooth angulation. Inaccurate bracket placement results in abnormal expression of tip or mesiodistal angulation of a tooth. For axial accuracy, it is essential to visualize the long axis of clinical crowns of teeth accurately. Thus, an orthopentamogram or an intraoral radiograph can be used to determine the angulation of a tooth for precise axial bracket placement. Also, variations in the tooth structure, such as irregular facial surface, abnormal angle between crown and root, and abnormal shape of the crown, can affect the expression of tip, torque, and in and out effects are present in the brackets. Camouflage orthodontic treatment is standard for the treatment of mild to moderate class 2 skeletal malocclusions. For such treatment, maxillary anterior teeth are finished in a slightly upright and mandibular anterior teeth are in a slightly proclined position. This is a typical dentoalveolar compensation done in camouflage treatment to achieve normal overjet and overbite. However, when any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is used for the treatment, then it may become difficult to adjust such compensations. In mild to moderate class 3 skeletal malocclusions, maxillary anterior teeth are finished in slightly proclined and mandibular anterior teeth in a slightly upright position. This is a typical dentoalveolar compensation done in camouflage treatment of mild class 3 malocclusion cases. However, when any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is used for the treatment, then it may become difficult to adjust such compensations. In high-angle or hyperdivergent facial growth pattern cases, maxillary and mandibular anterior teeth are finished in a slightly upright position. Slightly upright anterior teeth are considered normal in patients with hyperdivergent type facial growth patterns. However, when any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is used for the treatment, then it may become difficult to achieve the positions of the incisors upright. In low-angle or hyperdivergent type facial growth pattern cases, maxillary and mandibular anterior teeth are finished in a slightly proclined position. Slightly proclined anterior teeth are considered normal in patients with hyperdivergent type facial growth patterns. Thus, the use of any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance for the correction of malocclusions in individuals with hyperdivergent type facial growth patterns may prevent them from achieving their objectives. While treating a malocclusion, if overcorrection for rotation, tip, or torque is needed, it becomes difficult to achieve with any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance. Additional arch wire bending is needed to achieve the overcorrections. Like standard edgewise appliances, one of the major deficiencies of the pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is a mechanical deficiency. As the force is applied away from the center of resistance, it leads to loss of tip, torque, and rotation. Also, the play between the arch wire and bracket slot results in the expression of the first, second, and third order effects. Also, the force diminution leads to undercorrection of the malocclusion. Another major deficiency of the pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is a biological limitation. The assumption is that all teeth respond at the same rate to identical forces and that, given enough time, a full-size arch wire in pre-adjusted edgewise appliance brackets will automatically position the teeth in their ideal position. This would work only if the teeth were moved through the air instead of supporting alveolar bone and influenced by facial muscles. Thus, the first, second, and third order effects incorporated in pre-adjusted edgewise brackets may not be expressed fully even if a full-size arch wire is engaged for a sufficient duration. Now, we will discuss a few special situations. In a few cases, the occlusion is finished in therapeutic class to molar relation. For this, a few adjustments in the first, second, and third order effects are to be done in the maxillary and mandibular arches. Typically, the tip and torque are to be increased in the maxillary anterior teeth and decreased in the mandibular anterior teeth. Also, mild mesiopalatal rotation is needed in the maxillary second premolar and first molar. All these adjustments are difficult with pre-adjusted edgewise appliances. Similarly, in a few situations where the maxillary central incisor is to be replaced by a lateral incisor or lateral incisor by a canine. In such situations, finishing the occlusion with any pre-adjusted edgewise appliance is difficult unless additional adjustments are made either in the arch wire or appliance itself. Thus, from all the discussions, we can conclude that using one appliance for all types of patients and malocclusions defies the normal biological variations among orthodontic patients. So, we must adopt a zero-base orthodontic appliance system. We must move away from a universal appliance that is applied to all patients toward an individualized appliance that fits each patient's specific needs and matches treatment objectives based on individual malocclusion and facial type. Thank you for watching this video.